Yo, what's good, y'all? What's going on? We're back for another episode of Dot Connect Wednesdays. This is episode 23. Today, we're going to switch things up a little bit. It's not going to be so much topic based. We're going to still touch on a couple of things, but today we wanted to open up the panel and the floor to everybody to bring your questions to us. So today is going to be a Q&A, and Steve is going to come and bless you guys. He's got a spot for you guys. So, he's definitely going to drop some heat for y'all. But we want everybody, we encourage everybody to, be engaged, bring your questions. You know what I mean? Nothing too big, too small. We got you covered.
All right, listen, paper, pen. The same thing happened last year is going to happen again. So the NFL did NFTs last year through Sombra Network, right? And that's a really solid project. You guys should definitely do your research on it. Just looking at the what this company has accomplished in the NFT space. So they've developed Pokemon Go NFT. They did the NFL tickets last year, and it's stated that they're doing the NFL tickets this year. So the proof is in the pudding. So let me just share. Let me know if you can see that.
Yep, we good.
All right, so we're looking at present time today. Super Bowl is Sunday, right?
Yep.
It's already running up. I should have really got this to you guys earlier in the week. But so last year at around February 3rd, it was 2 cents, right? By the time the announcements came out, it was around that time. And then more news cycles started to pick it up. So it jumped up within a few days to 4 cents. The Super Bowl last year was on February 13th last year. And you notice it went from 2 cents to 12 just on the NFT news, right? So, and then it pretty much tanked, soon after. We're looking at similar data coming out now. It's up 53% already in the last, let's say this is 24 hours. Yeah, so we're up 50, almost 53, 54% in the last 24 hours on this one. So, if you want to get out before the weekend, it's probably going to trend the same way it's been trending. Just kind of look at the historical data for this last 7 days. Yeah, so as you can see on February 3rd, just like last year, it's 2 cents more this year. It was at 4 cents. And then you kind of see it at present day now. We're at 8. So it's up 54% in the last week. Definitely more room to go, guys. The word's getting out on this one. So I'm anticipating probably maybe hitting close to 15 prior to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's just going to taper off. This is not available for futures calls, or I would have, I'd have definitely called a long on it. And then a short soon after. But that's just kind of one to make some bank on if you want to get in and out. And I'm telling you guys, just get in and out. Or, you kind of get your profit. And then if you want to keep this as a spot, like I said, it's a solid project with a lot of partnerships. Big name partnerships. This is definitely one you want to keep on your radar.
That's dope. Ooh, my guy coming out the gate swinging.
Yeah, I figured usually we turn the camera off, but they could have that. What else do we have? All right, if you want to touch on some news topics, listen, Champ posted about cyber attacks the other day. That was everything at the World Economic Forum. So when you fast forward to prior years, they were telling us about the pandemic at the World Economic Forum. They've told you everything and these guys have their pulse on the button. This ain't like this Stephen Champ crystal ball shit. This is like, this is what these guys do for a living, is create chaos and then create industries out of the chaos. So that's what the whole conference is really for at the end of the day. It's for them to kind of lay out a blueprint of what's happening. It's the most, it's the elite, the top of the top that attend. So mind you, when we're hearing about it, they've already had their meetings on this. So these guys are already positioned. You start to follow trends of some of the most catastrophic things that we've dealt with in our time, 9/11, which created, TSA and all things. So, out of issues that are created, there's also solutions and new industries that are emerging. So these guys are able to be ahead of the emerging industries. We're kind of wheeling to figure out, like, should we breathe or not? Right. That's the type of shit they leave us with. So with the cyber attacks, I'll just open up. Nigeria today launched actually this week they launched a new, so they redid their currency to a new paper, right? They wanted to make it counterfeit proof, right? So Nigeria has a big counterfeit money issue. So what they did was the higher denomination, I'll just call it fiat, they reprint it in something that can be, deemed safer and less, harder to replicate. In doing so, the country forgot to print enough money. So when people came in to do the exchange, they would have access to it. So every ATM machine is dry out there and every bank doesn't have money. So it's basically a bank run happening in Nigeria right now. The issue in Nigeria wasn't about the paper printing, guys. The systems are changing, right? The systems are changing. The money in Nigeria, just to even like create a new currency, something like the US coming out with a new dollar bill or something, this shit don't matter at this point. Nigeria has also put a bunch of cases out on people too for money laundering. So this is the same thing that happened in India when they became a digital society. They tell you have a certain amount of time to put the money in the bank. Now, when you're putting this large sum amount of cash inside the bank, this is why Biden and them are lining up to. So every time you crash a currency, the first thing you want to do is you want to get as much of the old currency out of circulation into the bank, so that way you can now change it to the new form. So we're going into the digital form. It's supposed to be back 1-to-1. That's not going to happen because the value of the money is not even really 1-to-1. Mm-hmm. If anybody's been watching let me stop sharing this here. And this kind of floated around Discord. So I'm not going to go too deep into it, but just showing you some things that you guys should be aware of. Just got to share the screen. So yeah, so a ton of guys in Nigeria are catching money laundering charges, right? So same thing in India, people going in, flooding the banks with money. Next thing you know, they're hitting you with a case because the dollar amount was over a particular threshold, and they realized that you weren't paying taxes on this money because you never filed taxes. So what India started to do is guys with money started to hire just some of the poor. They understood what the threshold was. So I can go around to 100 people and just say, hey, listen, here's $10,000. I need you to deposit this into your bank. I'm going to give you 1,000. You transfer me out 9. Right. So this is how these guys were cleaning money. Here's something that's a little alarming, guys. So if you don't know this, you might want to get the app and just keep it on your phone. This is the US debt clock. So basically it's going to tell you how much debt we have overall. And then it breaks it down to each market. And it's basically going to tell you what the value of the dollar is against the current state of the market. So if you look at the right side right here, top right, you're going to see the dollar to oil, 0. The dollar to oil ratio is 220 a barrel. Dollar to silver ratio, 0 per ounce. Y'all following? Gold, 0. So it make sense for me. This just done. Like, this just done. It's been done.
My bad.
And all I do all day is just, and again, guys, so I posted something today. Like, I need you guys to start looking at it. When you start to think like geopolitical situations, and when you think that certain things aren't attached to us, the petrodollar is all over the world. So when this is happening, it's happening in countries that are utilizing the petrodollar, right? So you're looking at currencies that are backed by nothing in these countries collapsing. 20-25% inflation rate in certain places, Turkey being one of them. And now they're dealing with this earthquake. You can forget about it. right? All things terrible right now.
Yeah.
What was the country that lost 95% of their value of their money the other day? I did a post on it. God, man, this is so much data I've been holding.
Lebanon.
Guys, huh? Lebanon.
Lebanon. Mhm.
Lebanon. Right. So start researching the world currency and just seeing what's happening in these other countries. Champ, you want to get into what's going on in Europe?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna share my screen just to show you guys. I actually did a video on this. And listen, guys, this has been going on for the longest. And so Klaus Schwab, he's the founder of the World Economic Forum, right? Steve touched on this briefly. Basically these guys tell you what's about to happen before it happens. It's programming, right? They disclose to you what they're going to do, what's going to happen, and then once it transpires, everybody seems, oh my gosh, this is such a shock. They're outraged. They act as if they didn't hear this or know this was happening. Well, if you focus on the people who you should be focusing on, and not the nonsense that people normally waste time on, these TV shows, social media, things like that, you'll be able to see it because these guys always do this and it never fails. They 100% for 100%. So this just happened on the 5th, February 5th. So Italy, the internet has now been restored, but they faced a global ransomware attack. I want to show you guys something. So look at this network connectivity. So this was done by one of their countries, I guess. I forgot what you call them. One of their networks, basically. They're just telling you the data, right? And they're showing you what happened from February 1st to February 5th. Everything was flowing optimal, right? As it always has been. And then they faced a ransomware attack and it just hit the deep end. Boom. When it dropped off, the thing about this is they already warned us that cyber attacks were coming. 2, this is Italy, right? So this is the whole country of Italy. It's telling you guys that once cyber attacks happen, it's going to cripple whatever country it deals with, right? So we're talking banking services, we're talking about your home connectivity, phone services, everything. And then you got to start thinking, you got to take a step back. You got to start thinking even wider because now your supply chain is interrupted. The telecommunications, how people are able to communicate and get goods from one point to the next. It literally cripples and shuts down an economy. So when things like this happen, they're telling you ahead of time, but then when they show you, it's so impactful and people in other countries never ever realize this, but it can happen to you. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to. So when things start happening outside of the United States, just always know it's going to trickle here sooner or later. They always do this strategically. It always impacts the quote unquote lesser countries, right? Or less economic powerful countries. And then it makes it to the powerhouse. They're going to cripple this thing, and these things are going to continue to happen for 2 reasons. 1, because this is planned. This is what they want to happen. You have to create fear, uncertainty, doubt. You have to have a problem, a reaction in order to get to your solution, right? Always remember those 3. And then on top of that, they're trying to level the playing field. So when they have these new systems that are coming online, they have to crash the old one. The antiquated system must go. Once it fails and it completely shuts down, they're going to implement the new ones. And guys, that's happening now. All of our 1%ers, you already know what's going on. But I'm not going to go too deep into that, but I just want you guys to see when they say that there's going to be a cyber attack that happens, it cripples the nation. So your banking services, which is one of the most important things, people rely on having their debit cards, right? Because truthfully, who really walks around with cash, right? In this new day and age, we're using Cash App, Zelle, Venmo. We're using our debit cards for everything. The tap and go, Apple Pay, right? So imagine when there's no electrical energy going on, right? Power grids are shut down. All systems is offline. You can't purchase anything. Even if you had cash, you can't purchase anything. So it's like, listen, guys, just be alert, be on point, because when these things start to happen in other places, that's your cue just to know, hey, start preparing yourselves because it's coming. And Steve already gave you guys what was going on in Nigeria. And the truth is, people, with these systems coming online, people are really opposed to these new currencies. They're not all receptive to CBDCs and things like that that's going on. So with Nigeria has a CBDC called the e-Naira, and the masses aren't really accepting. They don't want to accept it. But the thing is, they're putting these things in place because what's going to happen is they're pivoting away from the old traditional system. New bills coming in place. They don't really care too much about those bills, but they have to reduce the amount that's in circulation. You have to create a larger problem before you're able to segment into the new way of life. So guys, just know it's happening and it's coming. What else did I want to show you guys? And this is the video. For those of you who didn't see it.
Pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber.
Insane. I'm gonna drop these articles for you guys too, just so you guys can double back and reference. Jose said, I hate that guy's voice. Steve, you muted.
Couldn't even make that character up in a movie, man.
Hey guys, good night. I'm from Costa Rica. Steve invited me, and I'm glad to be here today.
Welcome.
Glad to have you.
Yeah, I hate that guy's voice, man. It's like fucking, what's his face? Like Hitler's nephew or something, man. Gives me the goosebumps each time I hear him.
Yeah. So guys, just a little backstory on Jose. He's going to come on. We still have to work the dates, but he has a project he's working on in Costa Rica right now. Super promising. I'm still digging into it. Prior to him coming on, we'll release the project. Jose, after we get off the call, I'm going to send them information so they can start to do their due diligence. And then when you come on, we could just be able to not one have a backstory on it and bring our questions to you.
Sounds beautiful. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, I do appreciate you reaching out to me also. Guys, there's a lot of stuff happening in a lot of countries, and you know, the US just seems to be the last on the bandwagon, but they're really not.
Well, I wanted to say something what's happening in Costa Rica with that also, because like Jay was asking what's the ratio of certain things. And like, just imagine like in Costa Rica right now, the colon, which is the Costa Rican currency, it's so depreciated that it's almost minus 65%. And people still earning the same that they have been earning for the past 12 years. So there is no adequacy there to what you make in the past 12 years to what the money has depreciated. So a lot of people right now is just like trying to jump into different type of like side hustles or money wagons that they can get. And Costa Rica right now is really slow in certain things. So I'll give you an example. People is getting in so much debt that their salary, it's embedded 110% for the next 15 to 20 years. Just so you guys can have an appreciation of what's going on here.
That's insane.
And guys, that's 65%. And we haven't even begun this party yet. Here's another thing that hit my desk today. So I'm bullish on real estate right now, right? So everything hit me. Steve, where should I put my money? Where should I put my money? This is where preparation meets that opportunity, right? So if you don't have the background in buying coins and even precious metals, you have to know which ones to buy, because at the end of the day, they can confiscate damn near everything. So I have a guy coming on hopefully next week. He's a high-end jewelry dealer, right? And that's one of the places that the elite are always been kind of sourcing and hiding funds, right? And high-end jewelry, estate jewelry and things like that. So that's another play outside of art. Real estate, if you have a current business, I would say, plus up, try to understand what, invest in artificial intelligence. You just need this money to work for you and not sit around.
Mhm.
I always said it would be, they're definitely not going to give us a 1-to-1. In my heart of heart, I want it to be like a 30% discount, but most people are calling for 70% on it. So again, we'll go back to it again. If you got $1 million in the bank, you're talking about them wiping out 700,000. And people are looking at me like I'm crazy, but you're seeing a news cycle now. It's all roads are leading, to this point. So you have to have your money, working for you. So I have a couple real estate projects hopefully I can take down and I will at the end of the day. So once I can get these projects on, I'm bringing people on board who have, minimum is, $5K, but we can talk if you want to get in for less just to be part of a project. I'm also opening up opportunities for people to grab their own situation out in Detroit, where we can find it, fix it, walk you through the whole process, refinance it, or, I'm not looking to flip anything. I'm looking to really hold on to things. What will be, it's a start to finish situation. You almost never have to go out there if you didn't want to, but I would encourage everybody, to at least see it prior to closing, and then visit a few times throughout the construction period if you did decide to do something like that. Interest rates aren't all that great on these long-term products, 7 to 8%, but it's still not bad, guys. We're talking about that 1-2% is just not a real number. They've suppressed it for so long. In some countries, they had -% just to make the economies look good. So it's a give back period. So as long as we purchase right, the rental amounts are good. I'm using, government programs, which, are still, funded. I'm not saying I don't see them ever cutting that, but, that is a big part of, how people are able to live in society is by offsetting, the costs and their needs. So we are definitely going with, back programs and not so much dealing with cash tenants who, at a blink of an eye, these industries could go away. So I'm talking to a client today, and this just happened about an hour ago, and this is crazy. The name of the company is called Ark Mortgage, ARK. It's a Jewish-based mortgage company. Only Jews in New York, guys. Right? This is their situation. It's a lot of old school Jews that go through this. Most of their clients don't have cell phones. It's an older client base, right? Just old Jew money. So the client is telling me she used to work for Ark Mortgage and she got laid off, right? It was one of the biggest layoffs that this company ever had. And she says that she doesn't believe they're going to come back to the market again. The reason the shit is even more fucked up is because historically, that community is usually 5 years behind the nonsense. Right. So I'm just letting you know that this is one of the mortgage companies that fail before most of them are going to fail at the end of the day. They just failed going into last year and then still major cuts this year to a point where they're almost closed down. The money ain't flowing in the Jewish community like that.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? So again, a community that's usually 5 years behind anything. So when you're looking at, 08, that whole debacle back then, it's not affecting them till 12, 13, right? So now they're in the thick of it. They're actually one of the first ones to really fold. And this is in New York, right? Their clients are in Long Island, Sheepshead Bay. You just name everywhere that is highly populated in New York with Jews. This was the mortgage company. Done. So I'm just giving you a snapshot of what things are going to look like. And then on top of it, it's like when you have this old client base, and I was just talking to Champ about this, it's like, I have aunts and uncles who aren't even on online banking and they live here in the United States. Like they don't know what's in their bank account at any given point, right? Because they're still they still work with the passbook, right? Where they go in and they're like manually doing shit. That's how they're living. So when you have so many underbanked individuals, this is why the fight for the CBDC, and on top of it, resist it at all costs. Right. I'm not even backing that nonsense that goes on with what will happen with that digital currency.
Yeah.
I'm just here to really, Champ and I are both here to really teach you guys what it is, the downside to it, and how to just, there's always a loophole. That's all we have to do is just be in position to be able to find a loophole, right? Because they'll never set a trap for themselves at the end of the day. So, we're no longer on dummy time. It's crazy because I found a post, and this, I've been new about this, the Tuskegee situation when Bill Clinton came out. I posted this the other day. The timing of it was just nuts because it was the same time that the OJ trial was coming to a close. And I remember being in college, and this is probably like maybe my second year of college during this time. So it's like he announces the Tuskegee experiment was real the same time that the OJ Simpson trial was going on, but we were so enamored with the Bronco and all things that I totally missed that one. Right. And I don't know if anybody else did. And put a 1 in the chat if you knew about this, that it happened at the same time, or put a 2 if you're just finding out about this, recently or even now as I'm saying it. And I'm saying that to say that we have those cops that beat that kid the other day, like there's going to be so much things thrown at us to take our mind off of, and it's a tragedy. And I'm not saying to not focus on it, but I don't got the energy. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the energy because what I'm focused on is far worse than anything that they've been doing to us, right? And we're talking about for the first time in history that white wealth is on target right now. Like this shit is not gonna. It's not just gonna affect our people, right? It's gonna affect some real wealthy individuals too. For the ones that know how to sidestep the system and they're all things trust and all things could be secure and hidden from the government, then cool. If you don't have an LLC right now, I would urge you to probably start something. Start something. You know what I'm saying? They're going to come for the personal, the business side. We're a little bit more protected on that side of things, but the personal accounts, guys, I'm telling you, you need to start putting some shit to work. Fitz, I know he buys he's been buying gold coins and precious metals and things like that for a while now. So that's the game I'm going into now, and just using it as a means of exchange. Right. Next week's call, I'll bring more information on to what coins to look at. There's certain coins that can't be confiscated by the government, so understanding which ones those are. And listen, at the end of the day, somebody comes to your house, like you're really just gonna give up your coins? Like this ain't no shit that a dog's gonna sniff and find. I'm not saying to not give it up. I'm just telling you that it's a coin. And even back then, when they, during the time when they came off the gold standard and they required everybody to bring their gold in, there were still collectables that were able to keep there. So again, loopholes, right? You're not just going into a collector's store and saying, yo, give me all of this. Like people are really making business out of these coins. So silver for me is my go-to, only because they're still mining gold out there. Silver is pretty much intact with what's there. Cobalt, copper, there's a bunch of, product that's necessary for the new economy that's coming now. So just being a little smart. And then on top of that, just getting back to, if you did have to have an exchange with somebody, right? Because if the dollar loses 70 cents and I need to buy something that's $1, that means I got to put up $2 and you got to give me some change back. Nobody's fucking with that. You know what I'm saying? So we're in a good space. If you look at Lebanon and all things in these countries, these people are turning to crypto now, right? They're putting their money in fiat. They're putting their money in Bitcoin. Hence why you see so much money coming into the crypto market right now. And we're going to start to see a lot more of it. So Bitcoin is going to take off. I'm going to tell you that now.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take off like nobody's business. So it's better that you're in the industry. Hopefully everything's on cold storage. If not, I would urge you to do that. Champ and I, this is your sidebar. Next week, we're going to start taking our VIP group and doing breakout sessions with only VIP members where we're going to start to talk about staking HBAR, staking Filecoin. So all our long-term holds, and we're not big proponents of it, but I told Champ the other day, I said, listen, we have to, these things have been around. These are companies that are reputable, and they're not really looking to rug pull you because they're still building. The reason it's important to understand what staking is and what the nodes that are currently, HBAR has nodes that are being ran by the governing council right now, some of the biggest companies. HBAR went up in price the other day. If anybody knows why, it was because of the partnership with Dell, right? So Dell Computer is, they just joined the governing body of HBAR, and they're also running a node. So we're able to invest in the nodes that are being ran by all these governing bodies. But what happens is when we start to go down that rabbit hole of understanding how the nodes work, you start to see how that enterprise blockchain is going to be instituted in everyday life, right? So right now, we don't care about the end user. It's an enterprise blockchain. This is why the liquidity is gonna run up once everything, is set, right? Because we still have to set the table with these regulations. HBAR is a registered security already. So we're not talking about being sued by the SEC or none of that. It's just one of those, if you're anti-banker, this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? And XRP really ain't it either if you're really anti that. It is what it is. So a couple times a month, we're going to be breaking out into these sessions to talk about all things staking. So it's just another value add to the monthly membership that we have for you to better prepare yourself for when this stuff happens. This is part of the digital assets or digital real estate that people talk about. Crypto is an asset, guys. You have to do not let anybody trick you out of your bag. This shit is an asset, and you'll start to see it once regulations come, how valuable these tokens are going to be. So instead of selling these tokens, same way with stocks where they pay out dividends, you're going to have the same situation, which is why I didn't want to put you guys behind the 8 ball with staking, because you can, like, why sell your bag when you can make a couple $100,000 a year? If I know the portfolio that some of you guys have, it's probably solid based on what we've discussed and what you researched. So these projects are offering staking opportunities. There's a lot of institutional guys they're already taking XRP right now. We're gonna have we're starting to have those type of talks. So, and the reason I close it off to the VIP only, I just don't want no distractions, period. You know what I'm saying? This ain't for everybody. Mm-hmm. And we got the shit that's for everybody. Send them to the link in the bio, tell them to grab that $20 ebook. I mean, I'm giving it away. And the reason I'm doing that is because, listen, we're running out of time. And then 2, that's just going to be dated in a minute. Right. So if you have any friends or family members, like, let them know what's happening out here. Right. You don't have to sell crypto. Just tell them to keep an eye on what's happening around the world. Yeah, this just fucked up. I'm telling you, these countries are bleeding. Hong Kong, same thing. Tourism's down. They're giving away 500,000 plane tickets to Hong Kong right now. Like, you could do stupid shit just to get a ticket, get out there. It's like no touring. So, cheap airline tickets, if not free, are on the way for a lot of these countries.
Okay. So let me drop this in the chat and then we can flow. And I have the links for everybody for this .connect. I'll make sure I put those in the description on the replay so you guys have access to them.
Jose, you can bring that when you come to talk to us. You can bring that information for the precious stones and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Q&A.
Let's do it.
Someone mentioned something on the Discord, and I just wanted to address that because that was a question. I didn't know if he was going to come on or not. All right, guys, you can just raise your hand and wheel off.
So Sarah Lee, you had a great question. You mind unmuting yourself and asking it?
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. How you doing?
Good, thank you. So I'm in Canada and I use crypto.com, and like 2-3 weeks ago, I was buying USDT and pulling it out to buy other trading pairs. And I just realized that I think it was February 1st, my province had crypto.com delist USDT. So I remember I saw you guys did a video, something about you think USDT is gonna be taken out. And then I was thinking, what's gonna happen with all the USDT pairs?
So that's a multi-layered thing, but I'll definitely address it. So one, thank you for your question. That's awesome, and I'm glad you're here because you're on the ground in Canada. So here's the first top layer. USDT since inception has never ever disclosed in full what their reserves consist of, right? So the reason that all of these other crypto exchanges are now starting to either delist it or move away from it, they're moving to a more trusted, more reliable, secure feeling when it comes to someone's investments, because USDT has always been used. It's basically synonymous for fraud. People have used it since Silk Road days. They've used it for nefarious purposes, black market purchases, tax evasion, all of the above, right? So you have a competitor, which is USDC, which is the number 2, but is going to definitely surpass USDT. The reason being is because they've positioned themselves to be the government approved stablecoin. They have always released their reserves anytime that they make updates to bonds or anything that has to do with their reserves. It is disclosed. They have a monthly report. And if you go to USDC, if you go to Circle's website, Circle is the issuer for USDC. If you go to their website, they actually disclose to you exactly what their reserves are. And every month they release that report. So anybody, and I mean anybody who has an internet connection, you can go right to their website and you can click it and it'll show you, hey, this is why we're going to be the government approved stablecoin. Because now what they're trying to do is from a whole standpoint, this is global. They want to get rid of any coin that operates in shadows, right? And the number one coin that does that, the number one stable coin that does that is Tether. So now you're going to start to see multiple countries simultaneously delist USDT, or they're going to restrict the amount of inflows and outflows that go through Tether. So when it comes for times for people to try to cash out, the exchanges will either cut it off at the head and stop it and make you switch to an alternative coin, or that you'll have to use USDC. And in that way, it gives the country the visibility that they want on the blockchain to be able to review all these transactions at once. So it's multi-layered. I know that's a kind of heavy answer, but I had to break it down that way just for anybody who wasn't really clear about the stance on those two stable coins. Because the attack right now, the regulations, everything started with stable coins since Terra Luna, right? Since the Celsius collapse, Terra collapse, it was all focused on stable coins. So now they're putting the number 1 and 2 position, and they're showing you which one is going to kind of outperform the other one and which one has sustainability. The other one, which is Tether, is just going to die. And I'm not going to go into the long spiel of the marriage between Tether and Bitcoin, but that is definitely something everybody should make sure they're at least abreast of.
Thank you.
And then, Sarah, just to answer that, there's so many pairings outside of it. Now, if you're invested in a project and it's only paired with Tether, then I would say you have a slight issue, but this is just more business for USDC to come in and just grab that liquidity once it happens. So it doesn't matter if you bought with Tether in the past. Let's say all my XRPs bought with Tether for the most part, like 100% of it, right? If I wanted to back out and sell, I'd just be going into a different pairing. I don't have to stay in with Tether, right? I can back it right back out. So every coin currently has multiple pairings, whether it be Bitcoin, ETH, you'll have options to liquidate when it's time. What I
Mhm.
wouldn't do is I wouldn't hold any fee. I wouldn't hold anything in Tether. Like if you're waiting on the sideline, I would just tell you go USDC if you're waiting for the right price point.
Yeah, I figured USDC would be the smarter choice just to hold. I'm just concerned with my pairs right now.
No, you'll be fine with the pairing because you're not. I mean, if you have long-term holds, just hit tight.
Mhm.
But if you did have to make a move today, you can come right back out on the exchange and go into any pairing that you want at the moment.
And
Okay.
just to reiterate, because that is a really, really great question. Excuse me, Steve, you killed that answer. I want to show y'all something though, because this is the visual will probably really help. So you guys can see my screen right now.
Yes.
Okay, so this is CoinMarketCap, right? Let's just say for the sake of this video, we click on XRP. Steve said he used this as an example. If he bought all his XRP with Tether, he would be able to, be in Tether, but he could also back it out. One way you can always check that is go here, go to markets, find a coin that you're invested in or thinking about investing in.
How much minutes was it?
Y'all mute up for me.
15 minutes.
That was 15 minutes?
No.
I'm talking about that.
So I said you have 5 minutes left.
Just mute
Or
everybody
4 minutes.
manually.
So how many
Yeah, I'm
minutes
about
did I already do?
I'm
That's
sharing.
all it took.
What?
How much minutes did you
I said 4 more minutes. You
All right, so give me 1 second. Let me reshare the screen so you guys can see this. All right, so you guys see this, you guys can see my screen again, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so with XRP, look at all these pairs here. These are your trading pairs. So you can purchase XRP with all of these trading pairs from all of these sources, all of these exchanges. So your question was, if let's say you bought XRP with Tether, you have a million other options, right? You can use the Euro, USDC, the list goes on, right? So that's one way that you can always check. And then this column will tell you where you can get it from, right? So that's just a value add for anybody. But once you've already made the purchase and you no longer have Tether itself, and you have an actual spot, an altcoin, be it for this example, XRP, if anything was to ever happen to Tether, nothing would happen to your XRP. You would only be affected if it only had one trading pair, which would be Tether. Then you would have an issue, but you still wouldn't be affected. You just wouldn't be able to move it in that moment. If that makes sense.
Because USDT is stable, if it drops, XRP would still be fine.
Yes, because XRP itself is its own coin. The pair only matters when you're trying to purchase or withdraw. Like when you're trying to purchase or sell, that's the only time you're affected. When you're already in your spot, if you were buying XRP and you now have XRP, no matter what happens to any other coin, your money is now in XRP. You're only holding XRP, period.
So like I was trying to buy Happy Protocol today,
Mhm.
and I went to crypto.com and that's when I realized USDT is gone. So I did some research on it. And then I went to go look up the pairs and it's just USDT.
So once you have Happy, it's going to
I
stay
didn't get
in
to buy
Happy.
it.
No, I'm saying whenever you do buy it, right? Let's say you did buy it today, you were successful. You would have Happy. You would only be holding Happy, right? So if Tether was its only pairing, you could go to CoinMarketCap, search Happy, find that coin, see if they have any other pairings. Under any other pairings, any other exchange, then you would your next step would be, let's say, I know you mentioned crypto.com. Let's say Coinbase, for example. Coinbase had that coin. You would then go move your Happy to your receiving address of Happy on Coinbase. You would literally just do a withdrawal. You would send it there, and then you would be able to transact, because sometimes other exchanges have other trading pairs that other exchanges don't have. So that's one of those things you have to use. So CoinMarketCap is like really your best friend in this space. It just gives you a full advantage. I'm not telling you 100% to just trust everything CoinMarketCap says, right? We've explained that in the boot camp, but just for resources and tools, this is a great tool to have.
Okay, so I don't have to be too concerned right now. Because I hold my coins on my ledger with USDT pairings for like almost all of them.
The pairing doesn't matter.
Pairing doesn't matter.
Because you have ownership of your coins, and whatever the value of the coin is, that's what it is right now.
Sweet. Okay,
If
cool.
you were to send XRP or any of your things from the ledger back to the exchange, you would it can pair with so many different things. So you would just get the receiving address and send it to USDC or whatever the situation is going to be.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you guys.
But let's not get it twisted. When Tether collapses, all prices are going to be affected.
Oh,
Bitcoin collapses, and then it's a domino effect at that point. That's the black swan event. So you just have to be able to hold tight. You don't lose till you sell, guys.
You
And
think
you don't
that's
make
this
money till
year?
you sell. Yeah, for sure this year.
mhm.
For sure.
Okay.
I need that to happen because I'm over this shit. I've been this since 15. I'm getting tired of it.
I need a catastrophe. I want basement prices.
Well, here's the problem that you guys have to realize is when that perfect storm hits, you're not going to be able to purchase anything. It's already difficult for us to get into buying in right now. Look at Canada, restrictions, the amount that you can buy. The US restrictions, credit cards that were working for me, bank cards that were working are no longer working. I'm busting out so many different banks right now. And this is my money.
Mhm.
That's the crazy part.
Yep.
It's my money and they still won't allow me to go in. So just I used to keep Tether on deck for any time I wanted to make a purchase. Now I'm just struggling to get shit in.
Mhm.
But USDC is my go-to now. I'm still kind of a little leery about them. Like Champ was putting me onto that whole mechanics behind it. It's all smart contracts. This is how they're able to shut people down instantly,
Mhm.
when things need to be. So you just don't want to be caught with your pants down with any of these stable coins at the end of the day. The one thing that you want to not deal with at all. So that Terra Luna situation, and look this up, guys. There's something called arbitrage algorithm, and I'll drop it in there so that way you can just copy and paste it. If there's any stable coin that's using this is the number one coin that they're going to go after. If anybody is using this algorithm to create a stable coin, they're not, you could forget about that ever being accepted in crypto.
Absolutely.
And because it's easily manipulated, and and you see what happened with Terra. They can crash that thing like a dummy, no problem. So it's you have to look at companies that are exposing their books, basically. Not all these fake third party situations that you see aren't deemed anything. These companies aren't even like doing any more audits on crypto. And Tether's in court in New York, and they've been in court. And they weren't supposed to mint anymore, and these guys are just printing. They're not even listening to the courts at this point now. But these guys are holding up the entire industry. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, a lot of bullshit with that. Jose, you had something to piggyback on that one?
Yeah, thank you. Hi, Sarah. I just wanted to add something to the things that you were wondering, because I know it can be confusing, but I've been like programming algorithms and different type of smart programs for the past 7 years. So here's the thing, okay? XRP or any other token or currency has its own blockchain, right? That means they operate on their own system of nodes, and they share information, and they confirmate information in between, whether it's a proof of stake, proof of transaction, or proof of work. So to answer that a little bit more technically is that at the XRP pairs or the any pair that you're trying to switch for USDT will not be affected directly at the moment that you do switch for them, but it will be affected, as Steve was saying, with the price, because once it does fall happen, you basically bring down the price on so many other things. But in this moment as we speak, right, like the days you buy or the days you're going to do trades and such, it's okay if you have it in USDT. Let's say you're going to buy tomorrow, let's say $500, and you keep it there overnight. I think what Steve was saying is not to hold $2 million in USDT and just keep it there in case it crashes. Then of course you're going to lose the money. And then the other thing is, like, every blockchain needs its own blockchain, okay? But once one blockchain has like like an intricate software development with another token per se. They marry each other on the smart contract. Once the marriage happens, it's not something that it cannot be undone or it cannot be traced or it cannot be manipulated, as Steve was saying. But there are certain projects like XRP and different other ones that doesn't allow certain things to happen with their smart contract. So for instance, I know XRP and all these other ones that are working with USDT, before they went into bed with them per se, they have agreements in place in between companies and software that says, okay, look, let's say for instance, USDT is going to fall for 80 cents, 75 cents. Then there is exchanges and different companies that won't allow you to trade or sell at that point. Why? Because the losses from the company will be huge. And at the same time, they will not allow the people to be like per se scammed, like what happened with Luna. So there's many big companies that protect the customer, and maybe a lot of people doesn't know this, but there's many things that go into programming the smart contracts that we can actually do. For instance, whenever I work on developing a smart contract for a client, I ask them how do they want it tailored? Do they want it to have a tax? Do they want it to have a buy tax, sell tax? Do they want it to have a 1% per se that goes into the treasury on each transaction? So the same way I can do that is the same way they can do those things in between the huge companies. So I know you're buying XRP and the other ones, pretty much everywhere in this group, I see we're all buying the same. But at the same time, as Steve was saying, the USDC, it's something that is audited. It's something that is like not manipulated per se directly, but the price withholds because the government literally knows exactly how much money they move this month. And it's something that Tether is not allowing the government to do. That's where the mishap is coming, because when they wanted to get the information directly from them, they weren't able to show, like, let's say we have 2 billion in US dollars to back the USDT, and they weren't able to show those things. And that's where the problem is coming. And USDT has been falling for the past year, but this year, exactly what the government did with Luna and now what happened with everything else with FTX, it's something that has been planned. They planned this a long time ago. That's why Sam Bankman-Fried and company was able to go into that position of power. Do not believe for a second that this guy was smart enough to get there and build something like that, because there is no way on earth. So all those little details, as Steve was saying, is like the cues we need to be looking and like the things we need to be like observing from the distance, but at the same time, ready to strike. Let's say if you have $2,000 in USDT right now to buy, you exchange, and that exchange that happened in between the smart contract and smart contract will not be taken away from you. So let's say you buy $2,000 in XRP. Once the smart contract is finalized, then the XRP goes into your stall storage or your wallet or your hard wallet, either one, and then is yours. There is no way that the USDT can be taken away from, the XRP can be taken away, because the smart contract has already interacted in between one another. I hope that makes it better.
Thank you. I get it. I completely get it now. Thank you.
We got the technical guys in the building, and this is great that we have people, multinational guys, like we're selling ebooks in Lebanon, and I'm starting to see the places that are affected by things. They're the ones looking for the information, as the United States is buying what Beyonce tickets, right? That's yes. Oh, okay. All right, just checking. Yo, listen, now that we're on this Tether situation, I'm not going to give you the whole play, but I'll give you some of it. If you're part of the VIP, you'll get this next week. This is how we can make money with Tether depegging, right? There's a few things we can do. The first thing is you borrow the asset, right? Which is Tether. If we feel that, if we feel strongly that Tether is going to depeg, we're going to borrow Tether from an exchange, right? That's a lending exchange, right? And I'll tell you which ones for the VIPs. Now, once you buy it, you want to instantly sell it for another project. So we're just talking about XRP. Let's just go. All right. So I buy $1,000 worth of Tether. I sell it immediately. And I purchase the XRP. Right. So now I have $1,000 worth of Tether that I just bought on loan, because I still have to pay it back. I'm paying a percentage on this loan also. What happens is, if Tether depegs the way that we know that it's going to depeg, let's say if it drops 50%, I don't have to pay back $1,000 anymore. You understand? I just have to pay back the amount that's owed at that moment. So now I only owe them $500. but I have $1,000 worth of XRP. You following? Got tracking? Champ, you tracking?
Well,
So I'm just telling you guys, this is how guys are lining up to make big money in this. But what I've been seeing is I've been noticing, and we got to jump on this quick, and I already got some plays in, but they're the one, we got to hold it, right? So for every time that we're paying this percentage on the note, we got to know that it makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. Two, when you're looking at the percentages that they're lending against Tether, they're actually rising in percentage. So that means the exchanges kind of know that, yo, this shit is about to come to an end itself. So it's not like sweet deals anymore. Like these things can go up past 7% at the moment. But it's just something to think about, guys. If you wanted to, do whatever, and like I said, we're going to present it to VIP, and then we'll get in to show you guys like how to do it, what exchange that we're using. This is definitely a play. And if anybody's interested, just drop a 1 in the chat. Just make sure you're on the monthly. Like I said, we're just pouring into our monthly clients. We've been giving away super value, and I don't think most people are really even listening at this point. But it is what it is. So Champ shared a screenshot. Well, he's sharing his screen now to show you that the algorithmic stable coin that I told you about. Like, once you start to understand what the homework for everybody is, just understand what that is and how the system works. And Terra Luna was one of them. And then just figure out what other stable coins are using this particular algorithm, because they're not back 1-to-1. And that's another play that we can do to borrow those assets, because them shits ain't gonna be around, period. Nobody in the world is fucking with that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that they won't have like an ecosystem and there'll be all things created, kind of a subculture, but they'll get depegged easily once the regulations come.
Without a doubt.
Guys, we can make a ton of money shorting stable coins this year. That's going to be the biggest, the biggest returns are going to be from guys that understand, one, how to do it, and two, to actually execute on it. Just think about it.
Absolutely. Thanks.
I see you with them ears. You listen.
Yeah, this is one of those gems I had dropped on them in .connect Wednesdays episode 21. I broke down this, and anybody who was in our boot camp, you guys already know the difference between the different types of stable coins. But this is a no-go. They're not going to tolerate it. And they already let you know that it should arrive no later than 2024. So again, if you guys didn't watch it, make sure you double back and go watch that, and then do your homework like Steve requested.
And good thing Chan mentioned the boot camp. Listen, so the product line starts with the 101 ebook with security. That's like the basic entry, $20. And then you go into the boot camp, and then after that you go into the 1%. So I have discount codes for everybody who's interested in the boot camp. Most of the guys on the call right here already took it, but if you're interested in it, just hit me in Telegram or Discord, and I'll give you the code and you can go ahead. But that's the one that's going to set you up for when we start to apply a lot of the moves that we're making right now. So this year we're focusing on really digging into these projects, understanding how they work, signing up for these social media, decentralized social media projects that we believe in, just so you can see the power of what's about to happen. Twitter just announced this week or last week that they're going to do revenue share with creatives. So this is all Web3, guys. The Web3 ebook is pretty much done. We just got to add some pretty graphics to it and tighten it up, and then just release that out there. We're going to have, there's going to be a couple different price points. Members, I have their own price, and then anybody else coming from the outside. What happens is when you purchase the ebook, you're going to be part of the Web3 course. So anytime we have our meetings, it's only for people that have purchased that ebook. And I kind of wanted to turn that into an NFT, but just timing wise. So soon, our products are going to be NFTs. And, once we release it. Once you have it, you're done with it, put it back on the open market, and let it live for somebody else. And this is the future, guys. Tokenization of assets, is the future.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're going to start to run the university as the future, right? Because we talk about it all the time, but we're like, all right, so nobody really knows what it's like to fuck with one of these projects or to run a node or own a node. And then the 1%, you'll get everything. You know, everybody know 1%, everything will trickle down to you guys. But I'm telling you guys, there's nodes out here that are like, it should cost you $1 million to run these things. And these are with some of our 1% projects. So I'm just telling you that you have to understand that when these guys are coming into the game with all this wealth, that's the first thing they're going after is the infrastructure of crypto. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're focusing on just holding the coin, I'm just telling you that ain't it. There's a whole infrastructure that's needed to for these coins to be operable. So how does that work? How can we make money? How are they making money? How are they able to pay us this? Champ knows we've been through the Deegan place. We've been through all of it, the million APYs, and I'm just like, yo, there's no way. We just knew all of it was Ponzi's when we presented you guys with a few of them. We were just like, listen, get in, get out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Some of them pulled the rug a little sooner, but it is part of it. But we're not putting those things in play. We're giving you the real projects. Some of the projects being that we deemed them 1% would then trickle to, kind of the 1% group. So how to short Tether would be released next week to you guys. So, and to be honest, I can just give that to everybody. We'll probably just shoot a video and just do a live, and I have it, man. I'm just in the business of just gifting shit at this point.
Blessing.
I mean, you can never say you ain't get the information from us. Yeah, it's whatever. But if you get into the VIP group, guys, trust me, it's going to be a lot more value is about to come, your way down that way. What other questions did we have? So someone asked about in Discord, where to buy the coins. Fitz, if you're in here, if you want to drop where you usually buy your coins, I dropped it earlier in the chat, and we'll also post the chat in the bio or the description of the YouTube, so that way you can have access to all the links that we posted.
Yeah, I use JM Bullion, but Fitz, if you on, unmute yourself and drop where you make your purchases at.
I got you. It's Ampex AP.
Yeah, that's the same one I use.
Yeah, that one.
You buying more gold?
More silver, just because it's more affordable.
Easily convertible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna drop JM Bullion. I was showing you guys. I'm gonna actually pull it up so I can show you guys on here. So this is my favorite. I grabbed a couple hundred of these back in, I think, 2016, I think it was. So this is the link directly to it, and I'm gonna share my screen so you guys can actually see what it looks like. It's super dope. And this is one of those good things it's good for your kids to have as well. So since everybody's talking about silver, friend of mine, he was big in Forex, and he started putting me onto commodities and different things like that. And they have these Pyromet cards. They're 1 ounce, 20. They went up in price. They were $20. They were 19, right on the threshold, 1998. And you can purchase in crypto. So if you guys are have excess crypto, you're able to make purchases in crypto, PayPal. You can do e-checks and wire transfers, and you can make your purchases on here. And it's any quantity, so you're good to go. But these are one ounce fine pure silver in a card, and it's super thin, and it comes with like a cloth, and it comes in like one of those bank card holders, and it has a certificate of authenticity that comes with it. So these is like super dope. Just a gem for you guys to have. So especially if you just want to build up your collection, cheap, inexpensive. So you can use these, which are easily convertible, or you can start buying, silver coins all the way up to silver bars.
Here's one I want to share with them too. if you guys don't know about these go backs, right? Fitz, you buying go backs?
No, I'm not. I'm actually not familiar. So I'm learning something new.
So do a little bit of research on this. I'm buying the ones from Vegas, right? Because I figure, listen, everything's for sale in Vegas. They grab everything. So if you look at the states, they're available in and I don't want to go too deep because we can go down a different rabbit hole, but they have them in Nevada, Wyoming, New Hampshire, and there's one more, Utah, right? And then follow the trend between these crypto-friendly states, right? So I just know that if I can ever take a flight to Vegas, that's one place I can off my gold backs. I'm never really in Utah, but Wyoming is different. Is definitely a place. If you're into crypto, you might want to start paying attention to a lot of the crypto friendly states. Miami being, one of them. Not so much Florida is not crypto friendly, but the city of Miami is crypto friendly. But the state of Wyoming, like there's states, Puerto Rico, that are favorable to us. So research gold backs. They're inexpensive, but it could definitely be a play to it's not legal tender, but it is used as a form of exchange. And crypto is not legal tender either, guys. And we know the possibilities, right? Legal tender doesn't mean shit today.
Right.
Never meant anything, to be honest with you. We're just now realizing that, they fucked it up. Listen, that FDIC insurance thing that you think is on every bank account is not.
No.
It's not. They've already made the move on that years ago, right? They've been planning for this situation right now. I posted something, and banks are only. It was based on the amount of funds they have. They could only pay back 1.3%. This is as a collective, guys. So I'm just telling you that there's no fucking money. So every time we spend something, and you think you got something, there's debt that someone else is acquiring. So this is what's happening every fucking day. So just be mindful of the purchases that you make. Moving forward. 1.3%. So you telling me if there's a bank run in the United States, how the fuck, right? Because remember, they're tied up into mortgages, they're tied up into car notes. The car market is collapsing. If anybody wants to look at any sort of real estate, I would say focus on anything in the last 2 years that was bought during the pandemic. Those guys are fucking underwater right now. Short sales, the paper market, secondary paper market, primary paper market, like all those are hot right now. Tax liens coming in hot. Another place to put your money.
Super jam.
And buying tax liens. And if you wanted to land bank, there's lots in Detroit that are going for like $150, guys. I mean, shit, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Keep the grass cut. I got a maintenance guy who cuts the grass, keep the sidewalk shoveled, and then just pay your taxes on it. So I'm going out next week. I'm going to land bank. So if anybody's interested in $100 lots, let me know. It's way better than what you're doing right now. And worst case, I'd rather have $10,000 in USDC stake with Circle than sitting inside of a bank right now.
Facts.
Because institutional guys, and Kev said it before, since third quarter last year, they've been moving it. They've been buying ranches, every art auction, every car collector, everything has went for record breaking amounts in the last 2 years. That's what those guys have been doing with their money, while we're sitting here trying to figure out what to do with ours. They don't have their money in the banks, guys. And to be honest, those guys don't put money in the bank, right? It's always working. They've always, what we're talking about now, this is how these guys, this is kind of their basic principles, right? If money's not working for you, then it's losing. So research gold backs, and they're cheap, right? So they just look good. It's a nice collectible, but like I said, if need be, It's stored value. What else we got? Yo, was that OJ shit not crazy with with Bill Clinton? Blew my fucking mind, man. That the OJ trial was happening the same time that he's
Oh yeah,
talking about the Tuskegee
experiment.
Airmen. Yeah, it went under the radar. And it's the same thing now. Like, once they do the cyber attacks, they can say, yo, you know what, that pandemic was staged, or and then they just be like, oh, whatever. Like, this is how fucked up we are right now. We don't want to believe anything truth, and we don't want to question nothing at this point. This is what I'm seeing with most people. What else we got out there? Any other questions?
Somebody asked Wolf. That's dope, man. Wolf, he muted, but Wolf, he said his silver came in today. You ordered the Pyromet cards? You could drop that in the chat. I know you're probably working. And then Kenneth asks, do you pay tax when ordering over $1,000? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Some I know on J and Bullion, sometimes when on certain I don't know if it's on all products, but I know on some products that I've purchased, they'll give you free shipping when you order like in bulk or large quantities. They just give you free shipping.
Yeah, I got the silver card, and they're doing free shipping over $200 right now.
Boom, there you go.
That's on what? JM?
J and Bullion. Yep.
Yeah, on JM. And that's my first ever piece of silver, bro. So shout out to you, man. I would have never got that, if you ain't spit that.
Nah, that's dope. That's super dope. Proud of you.
That's what's up. Listen, I do there's a bunch of digital gold shit out there. I self-custom. Like, I need my shit.
Absolutely.
I don't need anybody storing anything for me. I'm not buying like fucking bricks, shit. Like, I'm just a small guy in this situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually want some of those gold backs. So I'm gonna pay you after this. I definitely want some info on them. But the reason I always tell people about these, because that was my first piece that I had ever purchased, right? Before I even got into gold bars, kilos, or anything like that. These cards, if anything was to ever happen, and let's say you guys, fell on hard times, God forbid, or you just didn't have access to cash, right? These are easily convertible. So you could take them into, like a pawn shop or certain things like that. They'll test them, easy swap. So we used to keep them, like my guy, he put me on, so he used to tell me, like, just keep them in your wallet so you at least have it. But I just stopped carrying wallets. That's the Afghan in me. You know what I mean? I don't even carry a wallet. But it's like, you just keep it, you keep the joint. If you ever needed it, it's quick. Get $20 worth of gas, whatever it was, because that's how much the silver cost at the time. So it was almost like a 1-to-1 at the time. So now with the prices raised, inflation is here, you know how that goes, but still it's easily convertible. You guys will have it. That way, you ever needed quick cash, take it, sell it off. That's super dope. When I went to
Miguel had a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I have a question. So let's say
I pronounced it correct, right?
Abel, but
Abel.
Abel is fine too. I have a question. So let's say you buy X amount of dollars. Let's say you buy, I don't know, like $1,000 of XRP, but you bought it like 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You're holding it, and whatever, XRP goes in March, XRP goes to like, I don't know, $10 and you want to sell it, right? Now, let's say you bought that same, or what, it doesn't matter, whatever the crypto is, but let's say you bought it last week and then you moved it off the exchange. Now, when you want to sell it, you move it back onto the exchange and then you take your money. So how does the government allocate how much taxes you should, how do they know whether you've held that crypto for X amount of time versus X amount of time? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, do they know? How are they supposed to know whether you're going to claim short-term capital gains on it, or is it long-term? They don't know.
They don't know. You have to disclose that to them based on what circumstances work for you. This is why they weren't even putting the full court press on crypto this year. You know what I'm saying? Most of the exchanges that we buy from are overseas. None of them are really, and KYC just started this last fall between Uphold and Coinbase, right? But if you're using KuCoin, BitTrue, and all these others, Gate.io, there's no disclosures. You know, there's no disclosures. You're not gonna. I mean, how hard it is to get international disclosure for exchanges that know that they're not going to be around in the United States. You just have to use your better judgment with how you move with liquidating or selling, right? I would tell you with an asset like that, just hold tight and just wait for regulations and lending products that can, you know, that you can make a move with and borrow against it before you actually just get rid of it.
No, I wouldn't get rid of it. I'm just saying, like in general, I always wondered how are they able to determine what, you know, what they're gonna charge you for taxes. Like if you bought it, or if you buy it on Coinbase, for example, and then you sell it on Coinbase, then they can obviously Coinbase is going to report to the government that you held it for X amount of time, and then they at that point they can figure out how much you owe them. But if you bought it on Coinbase and then you moved it, and then you move it back in, because I'm wondering, like, let's say you bought X coin, right, and then X amount it blew up to like, well, let's say 25 grand, right, and then you convert it to USDC on like a decentralized exchange, and then you move that USDC into your Coinbase and then cash it out. What is the government going to do? Like, do they just assume that you just had the 25 grand USDC somewhere and you just put it in? Or are you supposed to, like, that's on you basically to report it at that moment?
That's all it is. It's on you to report it. That's it.
But Jose just chimed in on something. Jose, go ahead and jump in.
Okay, so basically, like, to answer what you said, the government can always go back and check ledgers because everything is recorded on the blockchain. There's a misconception on blockchain and people says that it's anonymous. What is anonymous is that your name doesn't show on the wallet.
Right.
But everything else is recorded, every transaction, the time, the blocks that it took to confirm, it was proof of stake, proof of work, proof of transaction. Everything gets recorded on the ledger, Abel. But basically, once you make the sale, the government literally will have to have like 200,000 agents from the IRS monitoring every ledger at the exact time of the sale. So let's say if you don't want to report it, you don't report it because there's no way they can actually say, hey, I bet, listen, you have 25,000 here. But in order for them to catch you in that sale, and that's something that every legislation has to do, the IRS must record that transaction and say, oh, this guy didn't report the taxes. Mm-hmm. But in order for them to do that, they have to have like 1 million agents monitoring the blockchain technology because there's so many transactions happening at the same time that it's impossible for them to catch it. Now, if you want to be an honest citizen, you can always go ahead and report it. But if you want to keep a little extra money to yourself, which never hurt nobody, you just keep that sale to yourself. You know what I mean? Because like in the end, like whenever you report something like this, there's always like, how do I say this? Like a problem with it, because then they're gonna ask, okay, so you reported this sale, okay, fine, but where did that first money came from to make all these other purchases? And that's when the problem starts, because since they don't even know how to tax crypto at this moment, if you don't report it, it's okay. But if you report it, then you're gonna have to go through all the hassle of, yeah, I got money from here the first time, this was the first purchase, then I sold this and make this money here, and so on and so on and so on until they're able to get to that sale of XRP. But my advice is, if you don't want to report it, don't report it, brother, because like it's really difficult for them to catch you on that exact same time of the sell or the buy.
Yo, Wolf, say that. Wolf, we need that. We need that audio.
Yo. Lying governments don't deserve honest citizens. Your bag.
Mic drop. Mic drop. Needed that. Nah, definitely. Talk to him. Nah, definitely. But Jose was spot on. You guys already know this. You know what I mean? Anything that's transacting in crypto, it's immutable, it's on a blockchain, validators, nodes, and all that good stuff. You guys know this already. So, you just, like you said, you have to make sure it's on you because it's your responsibility regardless. But my take personally, and this is no reflection on the university, this is just champ talking. How can they tax you or regulate you, right, with your investments when they haven't gave regulatory clarity to the entire industry as a whole? And it's been around since 2009, right? 2008, end of 2008. So, I mean, at the end of the day, they created the form. It's literally on there. It tells you need to report, are you investing in cryptocurrency, blah, blah, blah. But that's voluntary for you to disclose. That's you. You know what I mean? We're not financial consultants. So, consult with your financial advisor, the spill. But that's what it is. You know what I mean? There's no way around it. They don't have a lay of the land for the entire industry. So how can they tax you? And it's every transaction is a taxable event. So even when you swap your coin on Coinbase, let's say you purchase something and you do a swap or convert, I think that's what it's called. That's a taxable event. When you sell some, that's a taxable event. You know what I mean? It's to them, everything is taxable. Of course, they're going to tax you any way that they possibly can. So it's just up to you guys to do what you feel is best for you. Just make sure if you are going to disclose it, you have your checks and balances, you have all your transactions printed out or saved onto your hard drive or whatever, so you have them.
And listen, these exchanges ain't gonna be around. Most of the exchanges that I bought back from 2014,
They're gone.
I don't have no data. You know what I mean? Like I don't have any data. So I don't know what them dudes is talking about.
Yeah.
And then the amount of L's that I took in this shit too, right? So I'm looking for some coins. So if you can find them, then let's have a conversation.
Let's run it back.
Yeah. Listen, those who know, and you'll get some grace. Those who don't, that come into it new, you're gonna deal with high price points and a whole lot of bullshit. Learning curve. Twitty, you bought on eBay and Facebook. Are you getting favorable prices on those exchanges?
That was back during like the pandemic when I
Okay.
bought those. Yeah. So I mean, I don't remember exactly. I probably between 20 and 30 is what I remember, something like that. Per each back then. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the one I've been and bought at the coin shop, those are the ones like I first bought maybe like 2010, 2011. I just been holding those for the longest. So yeah.
All right. And Twitty, if you're going to be on next week, I want you to present a little bit on March, the event that you're doing in Georgia.
Man, if it's not sold out by then, man, it's probably like 20 seats for real. Like it's nothing crazy.
It's a small little situation. So Champ, we got to figure out
for real
getting you to that event.
We don't need many people to do what we do for real. So you know what I mean?
Right.
Now let's do it.
A quick question. If I wanted to, so I can use you to broker something that you don't even have in your arsenal, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We got a whole team of brokers, put together the marketing. We know where to list it. We got list of buyers. So yeah, for sure.
Appreciate that.
That's that one situation we were discussing.
He has an event. He put it in the Discord.
Okay.
He has an event.
It's in March the 10th through the 12th. Yeah, March 10th through the 12th. Thursday, it's like just an evening situation. Friday, Saturday, it's like a 9 to 5-ish. But yeah, just talking about buying and selling businesses, how to get involved, like understanding the process, networking with different people that's, buying into equity on different private equity businesses and stuff like that. So, but yeah, we can talk about it. I can get a little more detail next week if you want me to.
Okay. That's perfect.
But yeah, that's and I'll tell you this too. I mean, we this is an investment group. I mean, that's really besides you know, what we doing here, this is where my investments is going, you know what I'm saying, to business. And I was just, you know, talking about that, you know what I'm saying? My investments is in my business and crypto and any other hard assets right now, you know what I mean? So I'm about to go grab some cash, you know, at the bank this weekend. I still ain't done that yet. I've been in the process of moving. So I've been, you know, having to make a lot of decisions with that. But now that I'm kind of, you know, understanding what's going on, but yeah, I'm about to grab some cash and then we're about to just go hard on the assets, man. Cause a matter of fact, I was just looking at stories, man. This story just came up and it said, don't ask what percentage to invest. Just what can you live on, and the rest of it, 100% need to go to investments. And I was like, that's the mindset, you know what I'm saying? Like minimize the expenses and then start getting smart with these investments. Cause yeah, sounding the horn, man. If anybody not listening, you fucking crazy for real. But you know, seriously. Y'all, I appreciate y'all boys for real.
No, I appreciate you. So you didn't make the move yet fully? I thought you were down there already.
Nah, I've been going back and forth.
Oh.
I need to keep a nice little situation in Atlanta. So I've been trying to figure out how to make that happen. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know, I'm here, bro. So, you know, when you get here, just let me know.
definitely, man. I'll hit you up for sure.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's all I got. If you guys any more questions, I'm done presenting. Next week I'm gonna present the I got these 2 real estate deals, so you know I'll put that out there, and then I'll start to in the real estate channel. I'm gonna start to put the lots that you guys can pick up and purchase. And like I said, it's, you know, managing a lot is not a whole lot, and I'm gonna be picking them up in the same area, so my same maintenance guy is gonna be running through. You know, grass cut would be the same all around, so it's not going to be too much to eye.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, so this is where it's at, guys. Like coming out of World Economic Forum, really what we're facing is own nothing and be happy.
Yeah.
Everything is going to be on lease back to you. The clothes that you wear, like you're going to see a whole lot of shit change. You're going to be, you know, they're manufacturing renters. They're going to manufacture everything, where people are going to now control shit. They might even lend you food at this point.
Eat Z-bugs.
Yeah, crickets. They bugging.
Literally.
Yeah, but right.
While you playing, I remember that little Shark Tank episode where them boys was selling cricket protein.
Yo, do you know it's already out? It's on shelves.
Of course,
Now.
but yeah, but like they put it out there for everybody to, you know, they put them fillers out there like the Simpsons. You know how they do it.
Absolutely. That's that programming.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm good.
Anybody had any other questions before we wrap up?
Man, lying governments don't deserve honest citizens. Wow, that's it.
Mic drop. Wolf killed
That's
that.
a good one. Yeah, that's a big one. So Jose, just get with me on IG. Just give me any links that you want me to share, and then I'll drop it in my Discord, and then we'll get you scheduled in.
Able, yeah, yes it is. The VIP, Steve, still 50 a month.
Yeah, same thing.
Sweet.
I'm gonna get back to the stock market side. I've been off that, man. I'm just so mad at everything right now. The whole shit is like a scam. I'm so unfulfilled, man. Fucking quality of life shit is just whack out here. Hey, listen, I'm having a great time where I'm at, you know, but I feel for others, so
big time.
We'll figure it out. You know, the strong survive, so we'll be all right.
Yeah.
Jose, I appreciate you coming on today. We got a real technical guy right now, guys. So this is the type of stuff that, you know, that I've been calling into the space, you know, just where it's just not championized. It's, you know, it's people that can pour in, you know, not everybody's just here to learn, you know, you're here to share what you know. So I do appreciate you guys keeping me up to date on Discord. It's a shit. I'm learning some stuff from y'all. I can't catch every news cycle.
Absolutely. We greatly appreciate you all, man. Yeah, keep it up.
Yeah, the lots is just it's just you gotta wire this money, you know, at closing. I'll give you the details on it. They're all buildable lots, so you can put homes on them for sure. But you know, now's not the time to really, you know, to do that just yet. But you know, at some point, it's going to be of value, right? And they're not making any more land, guys. So this is what these guys are doing out here right now. All of, you know, every institutional guy is like fucking up the real estate game right now. Yeah, these guys are really bullish in the space. And on the commercial side, they're just letting stuff go. They're handing the keys in. You know, these guys, maturity dates are coming up. Guys, shit's dropping so fast. They're just like, yo, whatever. They'll buy it at a low. This is what these guys do. Bad business deal. Right? It's only our people who sit here to try to hold on to shit that just no longer serves us. It's like, yo, let the shit go, man. Start over.
Yep.
Credit, everything's gonna be flipped upside down in a minute. So, and it's gonna be asset based, guys. You start seeing this 850 credit score with no money in the bank. Come on, man. This shit don't even sound right. Do it. So if we're going to asset base, you ask yourself, what assets do you own? If not, universal basic income, you know, they'll have something for you, and you'll be eating crickets. and that shit's gonna be programmable money. So just so y'all know, you know, thinking that you're gonna come up with this shit, that shit's gonna expire. I'm hearing this shit happening across the globe already. You know what I'm saying? Limitations on what you can buy, how much you can hold in savings in England. Wow. So that means you got to spend. Now what you going to spend it on? When that counter is on it, you're just going to do something dumb because you don't have time to research.
Just to validate what he's saying, it's just trying to CBDC having an expiration date on it.
Programmable money. Wow.
Telling you, yo, listen, everything that we telling y'all is all coming to fruition. I mean, we like to be right, but we hate at the same time for these type of things to happen. I'm like, that's why people are resisting. You know, like with that whole CBDC e-Naira for Nigerians, they're not going for it. You know, it's been considered a major failure, but it's just because the people are revolting. They know what it consists of. Like the implementation is really cool. It's dope. We know it's going to need a platform. It's going to need a country agnostic, platform to be able to transact simultaneously and have interoperability with other countries. But, and we know how to position ourselves. All our 1%ers, you guys already know what time it is. But, just the whole programmable money is just definitely it's not the go-to. It's going to be a lot of changes, man, that happen in these next coming years. So just, head on the swivel. Information changes the dynamic. So make sure you guys stay with us, stick with us, and pay attention to what information we're dropping. And we want you guys to make sure you're doing your work and bringing the information to the group as well.
Yeah, so I'll have more information on the lots, but I usually buy like double lots. They'll be like 47 wide by 118 deep. Single lots, 26 wide by 100 deep. And you can buy damn near city blocks in Detroit also, if you're feeling bullish on that. Some of the lots come with you have to put a developer's package together on some of them. But I'm focused on like you'll see when I put it all together. Yeah, I can't have $100 sitting just in the bank at this point. Yeah, so that'll be next week when I present the two deals to you guys. I'll throw in some lots that I have, so you just kind of get an idea of what, and I'll give you some websites that you can look at in Detroit to see city-owned lots and things like that. So it's all good. It's all good. I'm back.
Let's get it.
Yeah, Champ, I'm done. You want to close them out?
Yeah, man. Listen, we definitely appreciate y'all. It's been amazing. It's another episode of Connect Wednesdays, episode 23. Out.